went to the same board game group before COVID, and I haven't been there in a while. So,
Jeff, are you guys near Philly? I can't remember.
We're from Long Island. Let's hold off a bit, actually. Just waiting for Giga. I do. If Giga's not in at 8, we'll just go ahead and he can pop in later. He said he was listening to his radio show. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll find out in the data after the tournament. He's saying first. I mean, it's hard to say at this point. My gut is like I think that I think drafting in terms of just drafting going second is a slight advantage. Although one could argue picking your leader gives you more control over developing a game that matches your preferred style. Right. Yeah, I have a feeling it's a slight advantage, but it's easy. It's quickly outweighed by many other factors. Is my suspicion. My hope, actually, because otherwise it's a problem. Okay, so Giga is here. Welcome, Giga. Okay, so Giga, can you see the Pyre broadcasting channel down a little bit lower? Okay, your sound quality is not great right now, Giga. You have some background hiss. All right, and just so Thera knows, Jim has been through this before. The last time that he got his butt handed to him. Uh, After the game, there's just going to be the three of us are going to pop back into this channel just for a quick recap and discussion of the game itself. Yep. Curling. You are so. Are you living on? You must be living on the Canadian border. Still got some hiss there, Giga. It's actually your worse. A little. Still not great. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait, maybe not. Never mind. Not the same. Yes, but the hiss is still there. It's about the same. Okay, so what I'm going to suggest, Giga, is if you can just hop out and experiment, and then you can join if you resolve it. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't know that we. I don't think I have a horde of people waiting. Yes. All right. So this should have all of the updated innates and all of the updated. Oh, why am I echoing? But it's echoing on my end. Oh, I know why. No, my stream should be muted. Let me try that now. Yes, why is it broadcasting my sound when I've muted my stream?
What other games do you like to play, Jim?
I play like rhythm games mostly.
Realized.
Okay, so here we are at the start of round B for the Winter 2022 tournament for Pyre. And I'm here with Gigasaurus Games and Rat. So welcome, both of you. Thank you for agreeing to help me comment on this match between Jim and Thera.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Okay. So everyone was expecting Jim to beat you in your last game, Giga, but you pulled off a really nice victory. So, based on your experience with Jim, what are you expecting from this game today with him against Thera?
So he definitely enjoys units that can beat your opponent down quickly and just make it hard for them to maintain a board presence. Mm-hmm. Which explains why he likes the Zealot, because the Zealot's good for doing that, especially since when it dies, if it kills itself, it doesn't increase its cost. Other units that are good for that, Ranger, Wizard. I could see him running Spymaster. He likes aggro. I also think he likes Spymaster just in general, at least more than I do. So I could see him taking Spymaster, but I could also see him taking General. I don't know that I see him take High Priest, so I don't know if I expect that.
Well, High Priest seems a little bit more slow burn, so yeah. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And then you're right, Giga. Jim definitely likes to wear you down. He likes the economy strategy where it's too expensive to bring units back into the board, and he definitely played that very strongly against you, but it wasn't enough for him to pull off the victory last time.
It was close, though.
It was very close. All right, so I'm going to give them the go-ahead and draft. And let's see where they go. Okay, so they're rolling to see who gets to draft first.
Not 20.
Thera got a 20.
Nat 20.
Ooh.
They both got nat 20s.
Already with a tie.
15.
That is not likely.
The 8.
Okay.
No, there's the die.
So it looks like Thera's going to be drafting first. And let's see who he goes with.
Looks like he's thinking about High Priest.
I'd like to point out that die is just floating in midair.
Yep. He decided on High Priest.
Yep.
So,
okay. So the High Priest gives the blessing tokens, so it is a pretty potent leader. It basically gives you two actions, one immediately and one a little bit further down the road. And it does act as a temporary health buff for the unit that has the blessing. So
I've played it before. The health buff helps. Health buff is more relevant than you would think. Is what I would say.
yeah, any health buff is a 33% increase to general survivability. So it's always on most units. So it's always favorable.
yeah, and honestly, that was implemented because we're having a bit of a hard time before that to pull off the blessings. So, and we also felt the High Priest needed a little bit more flavor. And that's when the health buff got added.
He takes general, actually.
Oh, a very bog standard first choice.
Yep,
Very
general.
easy to activate units, but nothing really special. But except that it's just easy.
And he takes
Yes.
Zealot there.
He does take Zealot. I could see an argument that he may have wanted General just because General has a little bit more empowered activation, which meshes well with Zealot.
Agreed. That makes a lot of sense. You want to be able to trigger those empowered attacks, so your Zealot can boost the ally attacks.
The Zealot Master has put a smiley face in
Yes.
the chat.
He's very happy to have gotten this. Oh, Ranger and Wizard. Oh, wow. Heavy range.
The hilarious part was that when I played against him, I kind of just let him have Zealot. Like, I thought about hate drafting it just so he wouldn't have it, and I was like, but at the same time, I don't actually want Zealot today. I just rather have other stuff, so I'm just going to accept that he's probably going to have it, and I'll be sad.
Yeah.
And as for going heavy range, my gut feeling is that the reason for that is so that he can get off more of the attack blessings while still being adjacent to High Priest.
I think that makes sense. I'm also wondering if he's choosing the Ranger because the Ranger Zealot combination is pretty dangerous.
Wizard Zealot is a little less dangerous, but it's also pretty nasty, yeah.
Yeah, that 3 attack at range with the Zealot on your Ranger is devastating.
General also seems like it might group up more than other leaders just by default, so Wizard seems like a natural pick. But the positioning of the Ranger is strange because it's I don't see it. He has to get it into the game.
That could be part of the reason you would take Wizard, because I'd actually argue that General is going to be less grouped up than High Priest, because General can activate anywhere in its zone, unlike High Priest, which activates adjacent units.
Real.
So he might be concerned about being grouped up and not want to risk Wizard attacks.
Real. I don't understand the Ranger placement very much because it's going to be Ranger. Well, it's ranged. It's currently in a bad position in terms of it's just not active. I don't understand this night either.
A lot's going to depend on where the control zones are, because if, for example, a control point comes out at C4, which is fairly likely, it's a 50-50 actually, then the Ranger will pretty much control that point.
Yeah.
And the other thing is he could have been looking at Zealot and decided to put the Ranger on the other side where he expecting squishier stuff to squishier targets.
Yeah. All right, so Jim is going for the Knight, which is a little bit of an unusual choice for him.
And the Standard Bearer.
And the Standard Bearer, which, he's really going to get those empowered actions, which will pair very nicely with the Zealot, I think. It's going to be very easy to trigger the Zealot with both the General and the Standard Bearer.
Yeah.
General probably actually triggers the Standard Bearer turn 1 either. This seems like a good idea. Because you can put it directly onto, what was that, C5? Yeah. You can just put something on C5 instantly and just control the entire center of the board.
Yeah, which is
C5
a pretty...
is an option, B5 is another.
Yeah. You mean, obviously, the closer you get your Standard to the center, the better.
No, it depends on whether he cares more about having A covered or F covered.
Diagonal, I think. I think that was the plan for the Horseman, the Knight, was that it eyes the B diagonal, but too early to tell, I guess.
Yeah, I'm very curious about what Thera's dex drafts are going to be.
That's true, I hadn't noticed that before. The 2 outside locations for the Knight can trample turn 1 potentially. I'd never noticed that. Fascinating.
Yeah. The thing about trample turn 1 is that you don't really want to corner yourself. He doesn't want to put himself on G1, for example. That would be a terrible place to have a Knight. It's a very weak. You don't want to put yourself there, even though it's obviously the furthest trample location, so it seems successful, especially if you put something on G2. But because of that, I think actually G2 is actually fairly safe.
Yeah.
Oh, Leech?
Life Leech, okay.
I'm not so certain about Leech. I'm not buying into it. Leech and Necromancer, I understand Necromancer makes sense.
Life Leech could be he wants to limit the sources of damage available to his opponent. Could be that he's afraid of getting lots of empowered activations. He could also just want the damage himself. He could be playing aggro.
Yeah, I mean, Life Leech it's pretty mobile, actually, is something I noticed.
That's true as well. He has range, but he doesn't have a lot of mobility yet. He didn't have a lot of mobility until then.
Yeah, but I don't really understand Life Leech and Necromancer at the same time, because it feels like you take Life Leech or you take Necromancer, so that way, with an otherwise killy kind of force, so that way you can kill off an objective and then take it with with one of your objective base.
Yeah, I think the big risk with the Life Leech and the Necro and Necromancer on the same team is they both require attention to get them up to power. And I worry that one of them is going to end up being neglected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they not only require the same resource, they perform the same role. So I'm not certain as to in this list anyway. Like in other situations, I could see it performing different roles. But in this specific instance, he doesn't really have an issue with just novaing crap down. So the Life Leech is going to be used mostly to secure objectives with its enhanced mobility. And it's safe in doing so. But the Necromancer does the same thing by summoning crap to get in the way of objectives. So I don't really see why you would need both. I mean, I'm sure he has a great reason. It actually probably to deal with the standard. No,
Yeah.
it's not to deal with the standard bear.
Could be.
Yes.
I feel like the Leech might be a denial choice also. Did he pick that before or after Jim finished drafting?
Before Jim finished drafting.
Yeah,
Jim's last draft was the Shapeshifter.
Right, which Jim has become a recent convert. He likes the Shapeshifter these days, so I'm not surprised by that. He's called it Stealth OP, I think was his recent comment.
I believe so, yeah.
So I'm wondering if the Life Leech was just a hate draft, so he didn't want to have the Life Leech on the same side with the Zealot and the Standard Bearer.
Don't super understand that. I mean, the Life Leech, it's intimidating, but I mean, he has other options to play.
True.
The kind of like and honestly, taking the Leech here. I mean, how does Jim plan to win the game? I mean, he probably just wants to. Does he want to just kill the High Priest, or does he want to actually take the objectives?
I mean, this looks like an aggro team. This looks like
right. Yeah, but he has literally nothing to really that's good at just holding an objective.
Yeah.
So his time runs out.
What I'm noticing is that I actually think Jim's in a pretty good position for his economy strategy because his units are actually really hard to kill.
Yeah.
You got a 5, Standard Bear is a 4?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a 3.
Everything has is tanky as hell.
Yeah, I need to remind him to. I'm going to remind him to update his.
Was Standard Bear not a 3 before?
It
was
was.
like a 3.
It got buffed a little bit to a 4, just because it was too easy to take out and negate its advantage. So basically, the Standard Bear has a big target on it.
That's true, yeah.
So it's way too easy to do a one-hit kill. Oh my gosh, are those new tokens that I created still not working properly?
Oh, weird.
Those are the brand new ones, too.
That's unfortunate.
Oh well.
But yeah, Jim did not draft a single 3 health unit.
Well, the reason why that is typed in. I think he accidentally typed in something, so it's overlaid, but I'm not sure. The Leech's plan. Okay. It's very possible that the plan of the Leech is to get 4 Leech tokens and just kind of teleport in and just Nova the Standard Bearer completely.
Well, just the Leech token. Leech only has 3 Leech tokens, and you just need 2 to do the 3 damage. But yeah, I think the Standard Bear is a target.
But you could do some sort of first turn burrow drop next to General Standard Bearer Zealot.
Yeah, I mean if you get burrow.
Yeah, of course.
But then Leech is just dead. So
is it though?
Yeah, it's only got 4 life, and after that point, Zealot just kills itself. He doesn't care. He just kills itself to kill it. So General activates, and if he got a General tactic, or if he just uses a good General move, I'm pretty sure he could insta kill that Leech by having Zealot attack twice, using the empowered action both times for 4 total damage. Yeah,
quite often a first turn burrow into your opponent's back line very often ends up with a dead Leech.
Oh, I believe it.
It's a high risk, high reward strategy.
Yeah.
Especially because he actually has the objective point beside the Standard Bear and Shapeshifter, and I mean, killing the Zealot or even like reducing the Zealot's health isn't really an advantage here. I don't think, at least early on, it can't be what you're thinking about. Meanwhile, you can take an objective point and be contesting that standard bear, which is a far more high priority target. The objective of Thera here is not to kill the general. I don't think that that's how he's going to win the game.
I only see 3 damage. How do you think he's doing 4 damage in one card?
Couldn't the general? Yeah, general. If he's next to general and zealot, then general has a tactic that lets him order 2 others to do something.
Yes.
Okay, so if he has lead or he's a tactic. Okay, fine. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So the burrow is, again, a reasonable plan, but it's high risk, high reward. I mean, if Jim has the right cards to counter it, you're in trouble. But if he doesn't, you can really do some damage.
Yeah.
What's the damage here? I don't. What's his goal? Just to kill the bearer or to kill the general?
Wipe the bearer, wipe the zealot. Either way.
Well, he can't wipe the zealot. Zealot's got 5 health.
Okay, they're spawning in some dice to try to correct for the broken health tokens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm.
Just
That's
strange because I hadn't seen these counters break yet.
No, it's the first time I've seen these counters not work.
Yeah, I played that game with you really recently, and it did break.
Yeah, I feel like there's something on the user end, on the host's end, that's causing problems, and I don't know why.
They should just copy a D20 for the leaders or a D10. Take out a D10.
It shouldn't be a D10 because they go above 10.
Yeah, I would do a D20. Typically, I would do a D20 for the leader.
And also, they got these 2 just hanging around.
I trust them to figure it out. Jim's been playing this for long enough. I actually used to have dice to track health on these.
So yeah, Jim's asking the same thing I was saying because I was thinking last time I played this 3 health was exactly correct for standard bearer. But
I guess
4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be 3. Just the potential for one. There were too many potentials for one-hit kills, and the issue with the standard bearer being a support unit, the one-hit kills were making it way too vulnerable, and made it really impossible to build a strategy around it.
So, have they decided what's going on?
If you say so.
I don't know what they're doing.
He just decided to divine favor. Yeah.
Okay. They started. Okay.
That doesn't already have one. So he's getting to basically put down 2 blessing tokens, one on Necromancer and one on Ranger, presumably.
Yep. Those are his only 2 choices.
He's out of range of he's out of range of anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 2 moves would make sense right now because neither of them has anything to attack.
Yeah.
Right, so it's going to do the blessing token from the Divine Favor, and then after that, a blessing token from the Innate.
Yep.
So, super efficient.
I like it. Although it does potentially mean that Necromancer may not be putting out any minions this turn, potentially. Because Necromancer puts out on movement, right?
Yes, on empowered moves.
So he may have plans for other units doing stuff instead of the Necromancer then?
Yeah, because since he's on the control point, unless he has some way of maybe bouncing off and then bouncing back on, who knows? Or he can move the Necromancer back, for example, to D2, spawn a minion, and then use the blessing to move the wizard up to that control point.
That could work as well, yeah. True. Or even move to E3 and move the life leech onto the other control point if you wanted to.
Yes, if he has the right maneuver, the night maneuver, which honestly would not be a bad move because you really want the Necromancer at the back.
Here's the question: who takes the life control point on Jim's side? Who does you want to have it?
Oh, having the
I would
Zealot.
have said Standard Bearer before it got a health buff, but don't know now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Zealot kind of wants to get himself low enough that he can conveniently kill himself when he gets too low.
Or you can just not get low.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, having 6 health on the Zealot is basically 6 extra damage. Every health on the Zealot is damage.
Yeah, true. So
Again, remembering the Zealot's ability, that it...
Adjacent.
Where's the Zealot card so I can zoom in? There we go.
Friendly, so it may take 1.
Yeah. And again, the standard is out. It's solidly placed at C4.
Has maximum coverage, blocking some potential movement. Oh, I like the position.
Yeah. He's going to need to get his wizard out, Thera. Honestly, I think dropping the wizard onto the energy spot at F2 is not bad. Covers that card draw space.
True.
If Jim owns the first round, that's going to be an unbelievable advantage, I think. Is one issue. Like if Thera gets the first round and just owns the Pyre for that first round, it's really not that big a deal. But if Jim owns the first round, that's going to be massive. Just because it gives him an extra turn to kill, and that's how he plans to win.
Yeah, he is definitely playing. I mean, they're both aggro teams. I just think Jim's is probably a slightly better composed aggro team.
Yeah, they're both fairly aggro. I mean, you have like the Necromancer, kinda, and the High Priest doesn't seem as wonderful for quick murder, but
Quick murder, no, but you can actually have strong bursts along the way.
yeah. One trouble is that this creature is really in a spot right now, to the point where I could foresee a universe where the High Priest burns a blessing token just to get the creature to an absolutely okay spot, which would suck, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and again, as Giga said, let's not forget the temporary health buff that the blessings give you.
True.
Oh, they forgot to put the location of the Pyre for next round.
Hot.
It's
Right on a control point.
A health control point.
Yep. Almost negates the benefit of the health control point. Not entirely, but almost.
Yeah.
at that point.
Kind of wonder if Thera would have done something slightly different if they'd remembered that.
Well, maybe.
Right now,
Oh, we got a first tactic coming out. We have the burst.
there it is. the moment we've all been waiting for. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is what I anticipated. The shapeshifter and the. I don't understand why he's okay. I guess he's foreseeing that the general might have something to say about it if he wanted to take that control point.
I was gonna say the other half of that is, maybe he plans to move to it after for some reason. I don't know.
Well, my immediate thinking is he gets the 2 leech tokens, which means he can get the high attack, but he's at next to 2 units, and the Zealot is not in the area, so it's a less risky burst.
Well, I think he was comparing it to pressing onto the yellow token.
Yeah.
Could he have burst onto the yellow token? He couldn't.
Isn't burst place position?
Burst is out. That's right. Burst is everywhere. That's right. I take it back. I think it's not a straight line.
And in this case, the reason why is presumably because he's scared of the Zealot charge, or he's scared of a lead, or he's scared of putting Leech into that very precarious situation.
Yeah, he's a bit more protected there. I think you're right.
Yeah. I mean, what really can hurt him here, like Standard Bearer is not going to be doing many attacks. It's going to be the powered shapeshifter. It's not going to be anything else.
And right now the shapeshifter has Hawk Farm, so he doesn't have the bear, which would be the biggest worry.
Yeah.
That's a lead.
Yep.
Yeah, so this was exactly the thing that would be bad about him being on yellow. Yeah.
Even as it is, he can still get smacked twice if he if he makes that move.
But he's not going to get killed.
Yeah.
True.
Leech, he might be honestly waiting for the last turn, hoping that that yellow square isn't occupied. I think that might be a pipe dream for him. But Thera might be waiting for hopefully B6 to not be controlled, which is probably a pipe dream, and then he just gives a movement token. Something.
Interesting.
He did the empowered move with the shapeshifter.
Now shapeshifter's not getting shot out of the sky, I guess, is the advantage.
But
no, it's in bear form.
But the bear form should be exhausted.
True.
Yeah, but he's going to get empowered probably eventually. He's going to get something from the general just to get back.
Oh, unless he did it twice?
No, because the second one is a standard bearer, because you can see it moving the standard.
There we go.
Yeah.
But now on his next empowered move with the shapeshifter, he'll refresh the bear form. So, and with the standard bear there, as you said, it's very easy to do.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't refresh in any movement, though?
Let me double check. I just recently changed it. You are correct. So any movement. Yeah. Yes, you are correct, Giga. That's the perils of making so many changes in such a short time. I can't keep track of them anymore. That my
clearly
advancing age.
Can't either. Clearly that's us either, because we didn't realize Standard Bearer had 4 health.
Yeah. Now here's the question. Shapeshifter has an option here, right? Shapeshifter, does he prioritize bursting down the High Priest, or does he prioritize bursting down the Ranger? Because he's clearly there with a bear form, he's probably thinking about death, destruction, and other heavy metal topics. He's probably not there to take that point. He might be.
Right.
He might switch to Wolf, take the point, and then do 1 hit of damage to Leech or High Priest.
He could also be planning to trigger a movement somehow to move out of the point and refresh bear form at the same time.
True.
If he goes to Wolf, I guess, and then he moves the Ranger, or not the Ranger, he just moves the Shapeshifter, he could do a damage and refresh bear form at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, he would do Wolf after bear form. Clearly, if he chose bear form, he's planning to attack something.
Oh, there's the move.
There's the coil.
Ooh, yeah, and the stun.
That might be why he didn't find the yellow point in the first place as well.
Yep.
That's almost why. That's
absolutely. Interesting, he stunned the standard bearer. Oh. Countered with a trample.
Well, I mean...
There's a lot of units in that area.
Yeah, wow. That knight doesn't really feel like being on the safe out here, does he? I guess he does, because he's going to get blocked by the Pyre next turn.
Okay. So presently, every unit in the game, except for the wizard, is within the standard zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trouble is that this knight can't be doing any. The plan can't involve the knight doing damage this turn.
No, I feel like that was a forced move. I feel like he felt like he needed to stun the life leech.
Yeah.
Which might be fair since the life leech is powered up.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like a better option there. Trample, not even ignore the leech, say, I'll deal with the leech later. and eyeing the B diagonal head all the way to B1, and then have this, and then you successfully stun the Necromancer, but also you're now in position to do quite a bit.
Yeah, but clearly Thera stunned the standard bearer, planning to attack it.
Yeah,
and a 3 smack on the standard bearer, leaving only 1 life left on it, would be dangerous. Because then goes the battle standard, which moves a whole bunch of Jim's plans, probably.
Well, wouldn't it be killed though? Doesn't burst do 1 point of damage?
Did it burst? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, that would kill it. You're right. He already had damage on it, so that would kill his standard, his battle standard. That was clearly Thera's plan, and Jim felt he had to counter it.
He has 2 orders left in his hand. He could still do it.
Yeah. It doesn't really.
Well, the standard bearer is going to unstun before the life leech unstuns, though.
Will have an opportunity to run away.
Yep.
He doesn't need to run away anywhere but that little life spot, does he?
Evasive shot.
1 point of damage, sure.
Pinging.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's a little intimidating because if his plan to get the shapeshifter out of the way succeeds, I mean you're still doing damage, and then you've accidentally almost created an opening for the knight. Down the A file.
Considering it's empowered near the end of the turn, I actually think I would have. Okay, sure. No, you can't do that.
Cannot do that,
right?
We cannot. And actually, the new cards have made it clear that you cannot activate.
I wonder if he's about to change where he's doing that. Yep, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that I would have moved there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the trouble is it does less damage. So he has to pick between damage.
For that matter, he can't even use a blessing because it's not empowered anyway.
Yeah, it's only 1 damage no matter what.
So
the ranger only does 2 damage with an empowered attack at a rate of 2. Coordinated assault. Boy.
The battle standard was unstunned.
Guess what?
That is literally all of his units.
Oh god, Zealot takes the health.
This is why he had to stun the life leech. He could not have. He needed the standard bearer unstunned.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Everything's coming together. That makes sense.
Although, I'm looking at coordinated assault. Do you need the standard bearer unstunned to play coordinated assault?
Yes, because you can't. Yes, because you look at the blue box indicates that it activates the standard bearer. Okay,
so it's the blue box defines who's being activated, not the reds.
The red tells where the action is centralized.
Okay.
But yeah, you cannot play a tactic if the unit is stunned.
Okay. Makes sense. So that's 3 points of damage. Is he going to... Oh, he's moving the knight instead. He doesn't get an attack from that, but sure.
No directionality.
Seems like he's
Does he not see that?
trying to do it?
What's he doing?
Well, the general moving does allow it to...
Oh, maybe the standard bearer attacked it.
Actually, okay, you know what? So it's too late now, but here's what I actually would have done. I would have moved the shapeshifter towards the life leech, which refreshes bear form, and then move general, and then attack or move with general and trigger a bear form attack from the standard.
Oh, he triggered the general, who's then innate. He used to have the knight attack the leech.
Makes sense, but I don't understand why he didn't just... Oh, that just kills, so he doesn't care. He doesn't care about all of the additional damage they would get from the knight.
Does it kill?
Yeah,
I wasn't counting damage. I don't feel like I'd taken 5 damage yet, but sure.
4.
4.
Well, it's marked as 5 right now. For some reason.
It's because his token's broken.
Yeah.
But okay. He doesn't have a marker anywhere showing that it should be 4 instead of 5. Does Coil not give health?
It's either health or a leech token.
Oh, did he take the leech token?
I don't know. I can't
No,
tell.
that's what I'm saying. It could be 5 if he took the health instead of the leech token.
He could easily Jim could easily have done 5 with that coordinated assault.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly, but I think it would have been... I want to say it would have involved needing the shapeshifter active.
Well,
Part of that.
The real thing is now that he got the Zealot into active location.
Did he take a damage on the Zealot? Yes, he did.
Oh, that would make tons of sense.
Okay, so that's an extra point of damage. Oh, it's multiple points. It's 2 extra points of damage from the standard bearer because he could activate it twice because of the standard.
Right, because everything is an empowered action.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I count 4 damage. Still not much this one came from, but
Okay, so the general move or did the general attack?
The general moved.
1, 2.
That's what I'm confused. Oh, Cornelius, you can charge. Doink. Oh, okay. Sorry, charging. Yeah, no, never mind. That's very dead because the knight also attacked as part of the move.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now
Yes, I missed it. I missed Cornelius could also charge. That's where the damage came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. Now I understand.
So I think regardless of the outcome of the rest of this turn, Thera wins turn 1 by Pyre. I think
it depends what orders they have in their hand. If the general can move on to the yellow, it would currently tie it.
Yeah, but Wizard is definitely moving on to that yellow. If Wizard could move on to that yellow,
Depends
it might
on the
not
card.
be able to. It might not be a sideways movement. It might be only activating a different unit.
True. If it's a maneuver card at all, then he controls it because he would just put a skeleton on it, wouldn't he? So
Skeletons can't control points. They can occupy them, but they don't give no benefits.
gotcha.
And aside from that involved the necromancer moving off of the tile, which would be a wash even discounting that fact.
Yeah, true. Yeah, in that case, I suppose if he got unlucky or if he didn't have the foresight to keep a maneuver, then this could be a tie. And I mean, a tie is a win for Jim. Because Jim currently, obviously, has the lead in terms of troops. And his...
That is not a card that can move on to that point.
Uh-oh. That's not
it can
good.
attack that point, but it can't move on to it.
That's not good. That's bad. Well, that means Jim is very likely to wash this first turn.
Again, depends whether he has the right order, but yes.
Yes, but
he could do it. He couldn't do it with a knight move. He also needs a sideways movement to do that.
He couldn't do it with a knight move, you don't think? If the knight moved backwards?
Well, who?
Oh! Okay.
How did he move Oh, Necromancer Blessing! Oh, I like it.
Clever.
I like it. Okay.
Horse has a jump. He takes it back. Because Jim really wants this to be a wash right now. If this is a wash, Jim is very, very happy. How much health do skeletons have? Just the 1, right?
They have 2. I'm pretty sure. 2. And
1 friendly unit jumped over may move or attack. The Zealot gains health.
So the knight's doing something based on that jump.
Yeah. Well, this is... So he's just given up the idea of owning anything, and he's just trying to attack now.
Hey, there isn't really a way for him to... If that's his last card in hand, I can't see a way for him to gain a Pyre point.
Right.
With it.
So he's just gonna try and kill people. Which makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Definitely did stun.
That was a nice way of really benefiting from the
blessing.
The blessing. The blessing has to come off the necromancer, though.
Yeah, I was about to point that out.
That was clever. Both the ranger and the necromancer did they both use it? Did the ranger use it?
I don't remember the ranger.
I don't think so.
No, because it moved there with the evasive shot.
Right. Okay, so
So it's good for Thera, not super good, but good for Thera that he's got this. He's got first turn basically, but
It's a free action.
trouble. Yep. Trouble is the board is just. It seems like it's far better for Jim.
Possibly. I mean, he can bring his life leech back. He can afford it. He can get a
can.
tactic card, which he can play for basically free.
The Pyre's default starting location is in his benefit, although it'll be
tremendously in his benefit. Look at that.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
I don't know how much stuff is going to survive, but
Well, that's always the thing.
That's the trouble that I see is that everything in Jim's force wants to kill his stuff, and it's all in a very good spot to do so, with the exception of the knight, who wishes he was just a little bit backward. Unless he draws, I don't think he can draw a trample again.
No.
he's not chronomancer, so no.
Yeah. So I think the knight's a little bit mispositioned, but that zealot's about to probably kill the ranger outright.
And nothing next to the zealot can be called mispositioned completely.
True.
There's that.
Yeah. I mean, the knight's not even super out of position, right? He's just out of position to benefit from his passive.
2, 3. Okay, yeah, 5 money is correct.
Bring the leech back and still buy 2 tactics cards, which is pretty nice given the fact that he has the token.
It is notable that we saw both of their first turn tactics, so
That's true.
it doesn't really matter, but
Yeah.
that is still a thing.
Yeah. Jim might just lose this on. I mean, he might lose it on points. He has to question now whether. He has to think about how he wants to win this game, because right now Jim does. Because if he has to go for the High Priestess, he has a turn to do it. Like literally a turn, one, to position himself, and then another turn to actually execute.
I think the unit you'd want to position would be the Shapeshifter.
The Shapeshifter, I mean, Shapeshifter's in position.
Well, you'd want it to move 1 spot back to benefit from Zealot if you could.
Yeah, true.
So, is Adapt a charge? My memory is that it's a charge.
Adapt is a charge.
So what he could do if he happens to have Adapt is, since he's in the standard bearer zone, empowered charge backwards next to the Zealot, attack the High Priest with bear form active. Does 1, 2, 3 damage.
Yep. 3 damage instantly, and then switch to Wolf, get moved by General, maybe? Or something like that? Or just maneuver upward and do another.
Hard to see when the General moves to activate it, but yeah.
Yeah, guess just attack in general. I mean...
Oh, true, the General could just attack the skeleton.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I don't see a universe where Jim takes the objective here. So he just has to say, cut losses and go for the priest.
Well, you say that, but at the same time, the Ranger is marked as being at 2 damage. He only needs to hit the Ranger once to kill it.
That's true.
And the Necromancer is also squishy.
Wait, the Necromancers or the Rangers at 2 damage? I think that's just a glitched thing. I think
the Ranger's taking any damage.
No, the Ranger
but I'm not sure.
At least once.
Did he get attacked by the shifter?
I think so.
Oh wait, yeah, that would make sense because the shifter was a bear.
I think you're right.
Night Painted and the Night Painted is the last action.
Oh, yeah.
So it is at 2 damage. Yeah,
it is at 2 damage. Yeah, so you just gotta hit the. But even after hitting it once, you still don't own anything. You have to hit it. You then have to take the point and hit the Necromancer a bunch. Then take that point, and then you might tie the string.
And don't forget the Ranger still has the Blessing, so it effectively has 4 health.
true.
Yeah. So you have to hit it twice. So, but that doesn't really matter because Zealot's there. So any attack is going to be, unless
An
it's
empowered attack.
a bear. Yeah,
Back from the knight. Unless he has adapt, as you said.
yeah, but the shifter is a bear. So if the shifter wants to kill the ranger, he also could because 2 damage.
Very true.
Yeah. So this is who has first turn right now.
Thera.
Has the initiative, so he goes first.
So, from Thera's perspective, what's your play here? You want to. It's weird because on one hand, you want to get the wizard in the game, but on the other hand, you really like where he is. Yeah, he has nothing to target.
Apparently, he's thinking deeply.
Well, it could be. So, presumably he's bringing Life Leech back. But it could be he's thinking really hard about which 2 tactics to keep. Oh. Did he not bring Life Leech back?
Rue Leech, it's worthless to me. I'm taking 2.
Well, but he could. Anyway.
Could have taken 2 and gotten the leech.
Yeah, but I honestly kind of. I'm not sure if I agree with it because the Leech is another body that can control an objective.
Which is the thing, which is what I was going to say. That's.
But the thing is, this Leech is just like completely worthless in every way that isn't that. Because like the Leech, like we saw it, basically, it can't do much aside from body block, and it's very weak. So like in terms of just sustain, so it can't really occupy any noteworthy space when there's this massive death ball happening. So I guess I can see a world in which it makes more sense.
Life Leech drop in the heart or the initiative. You were saying you might take it if you managed to kill both Necro and Ranger. Right now, that's without the Life Leech there, that his probability on that heart, the probability increases significantly.
That's true. Because he can't hold those 2 points unless it dies and he puts his... I mean... This is the trouble, is that I think Thera forgot how he wants to win. Because he's going to win off of objectives, and he has to think about how objectives are going to be taken, and he knows that his opponent wants to win by killing this priest, so a wash is a loss for Thera. What?
He's running away from the knight and the zealot, I think.
Okay, Necromancer apparently has 2 tokens, not sure how, or 2 blessings, not sure how that happened.
Neither card lets him do that.
Yeah. Did he put me on a skeleton and he just wants to be like, no, I didn't? Maybe? No, because it has to be adjacent. Yeah, he can't do that. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, he forgot to take off the move. Right.
Which means he can't move. Which means the Necromancer's still in the heart.
Yeah, but the...
Well, shouldn't the Necromancer be in the heart then, if it didn't get the move blessing?
Oh, no, because I think what he's saying is No, yeah, because... Yeah.
And that's why it matters, because that isn't something that can happen.
Yeah.
This is not a situation this board can be in right now, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah. I don't think that could have happened, because I think what he thought happened was that the High Priest moved, gave it to the Necromancer, Necromancer moved, gives it to the Necromancer again, but the Necromancer moves out of adjacency, so it doesn't get it. It doesn't get the second one.
I mean, it can be easily fixed by saying he gave a move blessing instead of an attack blessing, and something doesn't take a damage, but...
Doesn't. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. If High Priest gave it attack, it attacked, and then you need to give it a move token.
And then it didn't move. The point is, this is a legal board, but this board situation state if he does 1 less damage and takes the move blessing instead.
Yeah.
They're checking the Divine Favor card. I think he missed a clause.
Yeah, I do too. Let it... Oh, did you inform them, or did something happen?
sent him a chat in TTS.
Yeah, he did.
I see. Yeah, okay. I have to. Oh yeah, I'm not on game chat, so I actually am not able to read. I'm sure.
Do you see the? Is that because you have? Is that because you're on a screen that doesn't show it, or because you don't have the 3 dot? Because if you're on a screen that has the UI, you can hit the 3 dots in the bottom left corner to see the chat.
Yeah, I just forgot it. That's all.
Sure.
Like the board state's been fixed though, so
Cool.
I mean, I feel like luckily for Thera is that he actually got saved from making a misplay there. Because I think that moving that Necromancer off that point is dumb. I don't understand why you would do it. Really.
Attacking the skeleton to activate something. He just straight up killed the skeleton. Okay. Sure.
Why not?
the Necromancer's going to take a damage.
He. Okay, so I don't think he did it. There was another way that could have gone. General Zealot takes a damage because that's an empower attack. General kills the skeleton by itself, and then something else does something.
Actually, yeah, because what General could have done was kill the skeleton with the Zealot,
which is what he's doing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Force the knight to attack the ranger, and despite the ranger's extra health, it doesn't matter because of the Zealot's damage.
Right.
So
Zealot's taking a lot of damage at that point, though.
Yeah, but at this point, it's very, very worth it.
Because, absolutely.
The Zealot. The Zealot also took. He got an extra health from the point. So at 3 health, this Zealot is chilling. He actually.
I'm surprised it's only taking 3 damage, but sure.
How is Thera going to come? He's doomed himself, I think.
Understand the decision to not bring the leech back. He's gonna miss that unit now.
Yeah, I mean, he ran himself out of options now at this point. Because what can he do? It doesn't matter what he kills. He's just probably not going to own the objectives this game. He might not. He probably won't.
Wait, what if he has a resurrect?
Oh, that actually makes a ton of sense.
Resurrect. Oh, yeah. Okay, that would account for it.
Yeah, in that case, he needs to play it almost quick because he doesn't want that green area to be taken. But the trouble is, everything he has is about to die, so he might be stalling on it just to give himself an opportunity to pick one unit, like which unit he wants.
And actually, even if he'd had the resurrect, I think I might have, if I'd been thinking clearly, I might have brought Life Leech back anyway, expecting the ranger to die. But
comes back with a blessing, which means that Life Leech will come back with actually effectively 5 health, not 4.
6 health from the mark. 6 health is 5.
That's right.
The leech comes back. Where do you put the leech? The question is, if you want to bring the leech back, when do you do it, and where do you put the leech?
Like now, you plant it on the green flag.
Well, but if you plant it on the green flag, it's probably going to die again. Even with 5 health, it's probably going to die again.
And 6 health with the blessing.
Yeah, but that's still just too much stuff. Right, General? Say you don't have a lead, but say you have any general tactic, right? It's going to be troubling. Zealot and Knight are going to attack it, and or even Shifter. Yeah, Shifter and Knight attack it. Is the Shifter a wolf right now? No, Shifter's still bear. So it would take 4 damage outright instantly. And then that was just 1 card. That was 1 action. So the leech is probably going to die if it won't instantly die, but it'll probably die if you just put it on that green thing without thinking. So you need to, you have to be very careful about when to play it. I think that I think that says that if he does have a resurrect, he's probably trying to stall. He moved that Necromancer so that way they couldn't take their point that they would have taken by killing the necromancer, and he's going to wait as long as he can and burn as many actions as he can, and then he's going to place down this leech to hopefully not let it die, because he really needs that point.
That's true, and he might be holding the resurrect in his pocket as a surprise.
Yeah. I mean, the trouble is, if you're thinking about this from Jim's perspective, right, he has to have deduced by now that the only way back in the game for Thera is if he has a resurrect. So even if you don't think he has it, you think that he made a misplay and didn't bring back the leech, you have to plan like he does have it, because if he doesn't have it, then whatever, who cares? You basically already won the game.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what he's thinking, but...
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think the play for Jim is to put something on that green square. If he can do that, I think that it's going to be very difficult for Thera to do much. I wonder if you leash the heart instead.
The heart with a skeleton on it, or the heart
Or with the skeleton on.
Okay. That would wait for the skeleton to die, but yeah.
Well, yeah, the skeleton would die. I think the idea is you let the skeleton die now. You let him kill the skeleton now, and then you put leech on it, and it turns from having 6 health to having 7 health, and whatever. The green flag was unnecessary already. Necromancer just died. How? Oh, because he used the attack token. I assumed he was keeping it in his back pocket, but he didn't. It dies and then shifter stealth, I guess. That was his tactic. That was why you said that Jim liked it, didn't you? You said that was why Jim liked shifter.
Yeah, it's true. Other possibilities of what he could be planning to do. Assuming he wants to res the life leech. The skeleton's dead, so he can certainly do that now if he wanted to.
He has a lot of resurrect options now. Upside.
True.
Still probably reses either. He might decide to res the necromancer instead, but if he wants to, resurrecting the life leech is a long play. It's the play that he does if he's stalling right now. Mm-hmm. Resurrecting the necromancer is a thing that he would do right now if he wanted to do it, because the necromancer only gains value by being on the board. He does not like he appreciates in value. I think the necromancer, you want him now, you don't want him later.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with that analysis. In other news, I like the positioning of that shapeshifter. I wasn't paying attention because I was being distracted I was distracted for a moment, but I don't know if he had a choice between going there and going in the going one space farther to the.
He had a choice to go anywhere.
Okay.
Could have gone. You can have occupied the life space.
So I like the place he went then, because it puts him out of wizard's attack zone. Because it's not in a straight line from the wizard right now.
True. One thing I would even consider is just putting it in the wizard's attack zone, but in the health square, you take an extra objective, and at that point, Thera has to get moving basically on their strategy instantly to make sure that you don't just win outright this turn. Win this turn outright, because once again, if Jim wins a turn, then that's almost curtains. That's very, very bad for Thera. So...
yeah, that was a lot of brutality just now.
Yeah. I mean, Thera's options are very dwindling, and the trouble is that, he has ways to survive, right? This turn. He has ways to get out of this turn alive. but like he's playing to survive and not to win now.
Yeah,
Jim is playing to win.
Yeah, if he can survive this round, I'm assuming he has the resurrect. I mean, otherwise, not bringing the leech.
Right?
Otherwise, bring the leech. Not bring the leech back makes no sense. He'll have enough money to bring back both the necromancer and the ranger. And if he wins the Pyre, which is a very iffy proposition given the number of orders left,
he basically can't. Right? No,
he can't.
He can't.
No, there's just no way.
He can't. No, he can in one situation. High Priestess takes other green flag and doesn't die. But that would be such a suicidal play that it's stupid to recommend it. Though he may also resurrect the leech. Oh, there it is.
There's the resurrect.
There it is. Resurrect the leech onto that was the second option to successfully win the pot. Yet he wins this turn because there's no way to get more than that. But unless the leech dies or the wizard dies, but both of those are quite unlikely. So
okay,
actually, not necessarily.
And the leech has the blessing token, has the attack token. So, boom, he gets to get attack. He gets to attack.
He just played teleport. What did Jim just play? Oh no, he discarded the teleport.
Yeah.
Why would he?
Sense of his hilarious.
Why would he discard the teleport instead of flipping his Pyre token? Unless he wants to play the other tactic.
It could be that. It could also be he'd rather save it for next turn when he might have more tech.
True, and I guess
he won't.
And he has no desire to move the wizard right now. So actually, I can see that.
Yeah. Aside from bluffing, the teleport was completely worthless, but the Pyre token may have use.
Yeah. So, okay, I can see it now. Actually.
Yep. So cut out the dead weight there.
I probably have used the token anyway, unless he was planning to activate his other tactic, because I think he needs the money.
I also think playing the token would have been better because, again, it bluffs and says, I've got 3 orders left, which keeps Jim guessing, but now Jim knows he's down to 2 orders.
Speaking of which, Necromancer should be at 2 cost?
Yes, thank you. This makes me wonder what's happening on tournament games that I'm not observing.
So Thera most likely wins this round unless all 3 of those orders or that tactic have to do with murder. If that is a general tactic, then Thera loses this round and probably almost certainly the game.
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, if he survives, if he wins the Pyre this round, Thera's back in the game, I think. It's still a shaky position, but it's not a lost position.
Yeah, I don't think he's winning. I think he's still... Actually, that's not true. From that position, Thera, I would almost put it at 50-50 just because Thera now only needs to sneak out 1 more. So, that's, a good play. That's, 1 good play away from a win. Meanwhile, if you look at after where Jim sits, all that he's done is invest in tactics.
But that's 2 damage on the wizard right now.
Because that was an adapt charge like I was describing earlier within the standard barrier zone.
Yep.
Or the standards zone, not the standard barrier zone.
Yeah. So this again just highlights why, and we talked about this after your game with Jim, Giga, that the standard bearer is the unit I'm looking at the most.
And that's why I was surprised that you actually increased his health.
Yeah. It was just too fragile, but there are other things I may do. I may after the tournament's over, if it seems to be overperforming, I may reduce the standard to adjacency, but I'm worried it's not useful enough at that point.
Well, it seems like it wasn't the standard bearer that did most of the work here. It seemed that most of the work was done by the teleporting 2 damage assassin that doesn't need to be behind people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the standard bearer was clearly good, but I don't even think it was the start of the show here. I think the shapeshifter and the zealot stole the show.
I think that's fair.
Which I don't even think is bad. I think the shapeshifter was just kind of okay, well, you did what you wanted with the shapeshifter and nobody could stop you. So I think maybe the shapeshifter deserves a change, but the zealot was just masterfully played.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's a reason Jim has that name. As that
He is
uses
a
that
Zealot
handle.
master.
He loves the
Yeah.
Zealot, and he abuses it like nobody else.
He is a Zealot master.
Although, again, in his game against Giga, he did not really manage to capitalize on it, and I think that's what cost him the game eventually.
Yeah,
That was basically just because I was pressuring him so much. So when I was watching the VOD, I noticed you were shocked when I moved my general towards his units on the turn on that first turn where I was really starting to run out of units. My reasoning at the time was essentially I was playing to win the game that turn, so I was basically just betting that he couldn't kill me in one turn.
Yeah. No, and honestly, I think we acknowledge that a lot of the things that we were surprised during the game actually ended up being good moves. So, which was exciting to watch.
Yep. This is the.
I think that this is the part where he kills him, proverbially. Really, I think that as long as if Jim could get this speech off the board right now, he wins. I think he just wins. Like there's just nothing that can be done from Thera's perspective. I think that he gave up too much.
I think anything he takes off the board, even if he takes off the Wizard, which is 1 point away from death.
I'm not so certain. The Wizard hasn't. I mean,
it's just units on the
doesn't
board.
Cost him. Yeah, true.
Especially, Jim has two orders. One order in the optimal scenario, one order kills the Wizard. Another order moves the Knight onto that heart, and then he actually ties the Pyre at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, the structure here is next turn Pyre favors Jim.
Where's the Pyre moving, by the way?
Pyre is moving to underneath the standard.
Oh, yes. No, I see it. Yes.
What? Okay. I was about to say, that doesn't seem... The Wizard is saving itself at the cost of... He has to think about how he's going to win.
What is he trying... Oh, did you think High Priest was zone, not adjacent? Is that what that was?
But even if he did, he has to think about how he wants to win the game, and he doesn't.
Oh, that's true. The Wizard is not 1.1 hit from death. The Wizard's 2 hits from death. Oh, never mind. He was trying to put the blessing on. Never mind.
The trouble is that Thera is currently playing damage control against an aggro army that hasn't done anything.
I don't think he has any choice right now, though. I think it's just he's on his back foot, and he is completely reacting. And I think Jim can take complete control of the board. And I don't know that Thera has a lot of options other than reacting.
Especially because right now Jim's taking initiative next turn.
Right, which is tremendous.
That is tremendous. But here's if Thera can hold this turn, if he's one good turn away from winning, which instantly means that Jim has to stop going so hard, stop pressuring so hard, and Thera can spend more time building back his strength a little bit and go back in. Like at that point, it's tolerable for Jim to win a Pyre token,
right?
So long as Thera does not lose any units that turn. And so if he can force Jim to use this good Pyre just to take his token and survive for the next turn and not do much damage, then he can maybe get some momentum back. But if he tries to move this Wizard away and maintain its life, he's going to sacrifice the game for this Wizard.
It looks like that's he might make that calculation because he just moved the High Priest up onto the heart to presumably to try and run damage control on still taking the Pyre.
Yep. But that's what you have to do.
Wizard recruit cost needs to go up if they don't get around to it.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like Thera's going to win the Pyre this round unless Jim has a trick up his sleeve with his tactic.
It looks like High Priest is trying to be triggered off of a blessing. Someone should tell them you can't do that.
You can't recursively trigger the High Priest.
You cannot, and I asked about that last night because while I was trying to fall asleep, my brain was either thinking about Pyre or playing Last of the Real Ones continuously, which is not great for falling asleep. And I came up with a terrifying infinite recursion of teleporting the High Priest in another unit based on the standard around the standard. And I was like, that doesn't seem like it should be legal.
I don't think he activated the priest with a blessing, did he?
The blessing's gone. The blessing is gone.
What was the blessing on?
Tried to. The life leech.
Oh, but he didn't move the life leech.
The life leech attacked.
Oh. But I think he... Let me clarify.
That matter if it attacked it... Or maybe the high... Oh, wait, what card did he play?
He played
maneuver. I think. He must have.
Did he play that upward maneuver? I think he played that upward maneuver. Or that maneuver on space right there. And that cannot be the High Priest attack. That is the life leech attacking, which should give it a leech token, by the way.
Right.
And it should still have a blessing because the High Priest couldn't attack, which I think meant the knight didn't die, which means the general can't be there. Boy, this board... If I read what was happening correctly, this board state's real... This board state, you guys got some rewind to do.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I mean... Oh, shit. That means that Thera has no way to get the priestess up.
No, that's not the problem. The priest just moved itself.
Well, yeah, but it does mean that. By the way, there should be a flag on F2. I think there's no flag on F2, and I'm not quite sure why.
Which else puts the blessing back in the life leech?
Yeah. But where's the flag that the wizard was standing on before he got murked?
I think they probably started to clear it. I think they thought the round was done.
Well, regardless, I think therefore this priestess can't move upward, which means that
the priest moved itself on a maneuver card.
Did it?
Two turns ago, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. In that case, never mind.
The blessing activation was just killing the knight.
Yeah, in that case, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just surprised Jim didn't catch that because, again, we've had the whole discussion today about that, and anything a leader does only activates troops.
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, I guess it just was so inconsequential. He's playing wrap up in his head.
Yeah. It doesn't change a whole lot, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the knight took 4 damage? When did the knight take so much damage? I guess every single little point has gone on to the knight.
Maybe the life leech has been poking stuff a bunch and we weren't noticing.
Leech is dead for the majority of this game.
Should the life leech have a leech token?
I think so.
Does it?
No.
Okay. Do we want to tell them that?
Yep, tapping it now.
Oh, that's actually kind of unfortunate for Jim.
Because it was a maneuver.
Ironically, best card now is going to be Teleport, the most worthless card last time. But this is actually quite unfortunate.
You just put the life leech token on the Necro. I'm sure he'll notice that at some point. That is hilarious.
I can't do arrows.
Yeah.
Now, trust me, I've tried before, and every time I'm disappointed.
Actually, this is actually really good for Thera. This is the best possible situation for Thera. This is a very symmetrical thing that favors him just as much as it favors the other. Jim has no way to take that energy in a convenient manner because he has no tramp.
Night movement with the standard bearer. He has one of those maneuvers left.
Yeah.
So Jim is saying it would be cool if someone made a rules enforcing app, which of course he's doing right now. So if I'm Thera right now, I bring back the wizard and I bring back the ranger. There's a lot of clustering there, which is good for the ranger.
Do you think the necromancer takes too long to set up?
Exactly. Necromancer's too slow right now.
Need bodies. I think you have to bring back the wizard just on the off chance that you get a teleport.
Because he drew one. No, because he's drawing 5 cards, right? And 5 cards left in his draw deck, and he ditched teleport.
Yeah, he has exactly 5, and he has no.
Yep.
I don't think he has any draw card stuff in his deck, so he has absolutely no way.
No.
Oh, that's not great. So we've seen Evasive Shot, we've seen Teleport. I remember seeing Coil.
We have Absorb coming, which unfortunately, I doubt he's bringing the Necro back.
We haven't seen Burrow, have we?
Yes, we've seen Coil.
First, but we haven't seen.
Not as a tactic.
So, no, Coil.
Coil is the order.
Yeah. Burst is.
He bursts into a place and Coil onto a token.
Right, but we have not seen Burrow as a tactic, which could be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He might still have. Or he might have drawn it just now. I'm intrigued at this.
That might be why he can bring 2. He can bring back 2 units. Or he can bring back 1 unit and get 1 card. Or he can take. Or he can take 2 cards. He wants to.
If he wants to be really bold, or if he wants to lose.
I was gonna say do the thing I did in my game where I just ran with the knight and the general, but I was going for a kill victory at that point.
Yeah. So this is the situation where in your game against him, it's in terms of material, it's kind of similar. Like you were such a material disadvantage, but you managed to pull it off. I don't think Thera is in as good a position though.
Thera, I can see him winning, but if he wins this turn.
It is a narrow path, but that's exactly what we said about Giga in the last game against Jim. There's a narrow path, and he found it.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so what has to happen in order for Thera to win here? He has to occupy the E7 objective. He has to. I think if he doesn't get it right now, then it's going to be an uphill battle for sure. Another issue that I see just like prematurely coming up is going to be moving the standard bearer off in anticipation of either the knight or the general taking the flag. And then the zealot, if the zealot takes the heart, then that's going to be it. So he has to prevent the zealot getting onto the heart, and he has to prematurely take yellow in order to win, I think. Yes, take
yellow. With the damage on the Zealot and his life leech right there, I mean, that's a big threat. The Zealot is now suddenly a lot less dangerous with 4 damage on it.
That's true, but Leech, once again, he has to take the yellow quick or else something might get to it. And the trouble is that Leech could very well be that thing that gets there, assuming he has the tactic.
It's in the best position of anything he's got right now.
Yeah, it's the only thing, actually, that could feasibly take it. And then, meanwhile, in terms of movement, you have other ways to prevent that heart. So I don't know whether or not you do that. You might just put the ranger on 1A, move it up to get onto the heart, and just say, screw it, that's what I'm doing there. And then wait for a turn, hope it doesn't kill your high priest, and then wait another turn. Just wait as long as you can to keep your high priest alive before teleporting your leech onto an objective. And if your standard bearer takes orange, then you teleport it onto green.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, trouble I see as well is that the high priestess could very well die. But if you play this way, it at least forces Jim into thinking about how much risk he's willing to take. Because if you take yellow and heart, then now he either has to push you off, or you win, or he has to kill the priest, or you win. And I don't think he can kill the priest right now. I don't think he's positioned well enough. I think the Pyre is too inconvenient.
Now, I was going to say, the calculation could be adjusted by Wizard's Astral Gate, except he's clearly bringing back Necromancer, which suggests to me
Oh, that's
that he realized Absorb was coming, and he picked up a useful tactic. That is what that suggests to me.
It could also alternatively mean that his kind of calculus says that he wants to block off objectives with skeletons here. Maybe his plan is move Necro up, skeleton block an objective, and then move it on to heart. Something like that. But then that of course, the trouble with that is that Zealot is very in position to screw over that plan a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's stunning the leech. I don't know how wise that is. If he has a maneuver that can bring the Zealot to the heart, I think that needs to be played quickly. But I guess he also needs to not have his Zealot be killed, so...
He may be thinking that he's in a better position for taking points right now, because he is closer... Because he has more units that can get to the initiative, and he has more units that can get the flag if the standard bearer moves to take something else. And the standard bearer could night jump to the money token instead of the initiative if it wanted to.
That's true. That's very true. But one thing to consider is that he doesn't win the game if he takes all the objectives. But Thera wins the game, or Thera wins the game if he takes all the objectives. So just the risk reward, it might be harder. He only might have a 20% chance of taking the objectives, but if he does it, he wins. So you have to play to take the objectives here. You have to give up a little bit of pressure just to make sure Thera doesn't win. The best condition is dead. You know, like
the other thing is it could be he wanted to stun Life Leech because he doesn't mind a skeleton sitting in the heart, but he does mind the Life Leech sitting in the heart.
Yeah, I guess. But then if the plan was to burrow the leech, then none of that matters because the leech can still get where it needs to go, and then the plan was to get the necromancer on the heart. And if the plan was to get the necromancer on the heart, if that was the plan, then this might have just fallen apart for Jim. I don't think it's fallen apart for Jim. I think Jim still has the lead, but it's definitely gotten closer. But I don't even know if it's possible for the necromancer to get on the heart at this point. So it's pure speculation.
Yeah, it really depends on the orders he's got in his hand.
Yeah.
Play Purify for whatever that's worth.
Have we seen both knight maneuvers?
We haven't seen Harry.
No, but I'm sorry. The maneuvers on. I'm sorry. The maneuvers on Thera's side that had to provide the knight moves to units.
Oh,
I don't count maneuvers, so I'm not sure.
I feel like we've only seen one of them, but I'm not sure.
We have. We've seen Trample. We haven't seen anything else.
No, not the maneuvers for the knight. There's a maneuver card that lets your units move like a knight in chess.
Oh, the knight move.
Right. So if Thera has that, he can get his necromancer onto the heart.
Yeah, I don't think he has used anything like that. He hasn't really been using maneuvers at all.
But now I think about it, is the discard pile hidden information or not?
Oh no, discard pile is open information. I don't believe in having hidden trackable information.
Because in that case, we could totally just
hard count.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they searched the deck, but apparently I can't even.
You can't search. We can't search the deck as observers.
I knew you couldn't ping. Didn't realize you couldn't search.
Okay.
Oh well.
Standard bearer moves. Flag is now open. If he has a jump, he takes the flag. If he has burrow, doesn't life leech now? And Zealot just killed itself.
Interesting.
Zealot just killed itself. Life leech. If burrow exists, life leech to the flag right now.
Yeah.
In the game.
Well, the life leech is stunned, or is that stun over?
Well, yeah. It was stunned.
Should be unstunned now.
Yeah,
because
there we go.
it was stunned by the knight, and then the Zealot just killed itself.
He might win right now if he has the right if he has burrow. Because there's no way to dislodge that leech. The leech is too strong. It has 6 health or something like it.
Especially since the shapeshifter is out of range and the Zealot's dead.
Yeah, I mean, never count out the shifter just because it can teleport basically with the hawk. With the hawk.
But he's got wolf on right now. And he's played adapt.
Yeah.
3 tactics, 3 maneuver cards on Jim's side, which means if he wants to start using them, which means that it might be a strategy to hold the Leech Burrow, which he might also not have, but just to try and burn some potential tactics. But here, I mean,
Jim's got 3 tactics, which is pretty scary.
Yeah.
I can see a universe where 3 tactics is enough to kill a life leech at 6 health.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. It's hard to see a universe that doesn't actually, because we know what those tactics could be, and one could be a night tactic, Harry, which would kill it, or at least push it off, which is just as good.
Pushing would fix that. Yep.
Yep. It could be a general tactic, which would kill it, I think, or would at least contribute so heavily to killing it.
Actually, we say it would push, would it?
Harry? I think Harry pushes.
Harry definitely pushes.
It does, but could it even be pushed? I'm not sure it could.
Yeah,
because you have to move before you can attack. The only place it can move and attack that space pushes it onto the standard.
In that case, General would take an action, move the knight back to A4, and then knight with Harry.
Oh, boy.
That would work.
Oh,
they just ate a full powered leech. Is that what happened? Yeah,
he
just took a full powered leech.
Oh, he empowered the leech. Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
This game is turned around again.
Yes. Does the leech have a knight? At this point, I think the turntables. Yeah, I think Jim was playing the turn a little bit too much. Or he was just thinking that he had all the time in the world because this Pyre was very favorable to him, and then he got very screwed on the Pyre RNG. Turned out the Pyre was actually very bad for him, and now the Leech is very likely to take that.
I don't think the Pyre was very bad for him. As I was describing earlier, that he was in the better position to take things.
Maybe, yeah, I guess with the Zealot still alive, with the standard bearer on green. Sure. Trouble is now.
Now is a different story.
Entirely. You have to shift. Okay, you have to move the general to take the flag, or you lose. I think as Jim, you have to move the hawk to take heart, just to be safe.
But he's not hawk. He's not hawk.
Your bear is already on a control point.
Yeah, standard bear is already on a control point. I was talking about shifter. Yeah, look at this. So shifter moves. He sees.
Well, I know you're talking. My point is, right now he ties heart flag with flag initiative. So that just is the question of: is there a way? Does it basically?
Okay,
yeah,
he's putting a bit more pressure onto the
priest.
I can't tell how much damage the priest has taken thanks to these tokens that have messed up, which means I need to. I just may go back to dice. These tokens are proving to be more trouble than they're worth.
Yeah.
Oh well. Buttons are buttons. All right. So here, if Thera has a good set of maneuvers, he wins.
Okay, so he exhausted Wolf. He needs to replace Wolf with a different form.
He would replace it with if any sensical thing in the world says replace it with Hawk, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
unless he thinks somehow.
Unless he's High Priest.
He's doing Bear.
He's pressuring High Priest.
He's not just pressuring High Priest. He thinks he can kill it right now.
Yeah, I mean, if he has, for example, Maul, which will bash and stun the priest, which would then also ready bear form.
Yeah.
He only has 2 actions left. Thera has a free action with his token.
Mm-hmm.
Thera has a free action. Jim only has 2 actions left, and if we have to remember, if the turn ends right now, Thera wins the game. Just period. He did. So
So he has to be thinking, Jim has to be like going through his head and saying, I think I can kill the High Priest right now. Or else he would have gone Hawk and taken Heart. Or alternatively, he's saying, I think I can kill the High Priest next turn, and I am playing to stall out this turn, and I'm going to be moving my general onto the flag, and I'm going to be hoping that you can't control both Yellow and Heart.
Agreed.
There's a thing about it. There is an argument against the Hawk. The Hawk, because in point of fact, if he has the right maneuvers, he can just maneuver to the Heart with 2 cards, which is the exact same number of cards as the Hawk would take.
Well, the Hawk would take 1 card.
Well, but he needs a card to activate the Hawk.
Oh, true, because he would use 1 card, just any maneuver.
To refresh it. And then,
would he need to refresh the Hawk? Oh, yes, I suppose.
Once you use 1 form, you replace it with a new form that's exhausted.
Yes, and and because of how order of operations work, would he need to move then? So he would move, that would allow to refresh Shapeshifter's current form.
Oh, actually, hold on, let me remember. Maul doesn't activate bear form. Does Maul activate hawk form?
If Maul activates hawk form, that's a really dumb name for it.
Well, because the way it works is like it acts as 1 form, and then you activate another form. It's like Maul is like you used bear form to Maul, and now you're switching to another form after it.
Gotcha.
So, like a Talon Strike. Talon Strike's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
All of the shapeshifter's tactics utilize 1 shape for the ability, and then transform it to another shape.
Gotcha.
Actually, if Talon's readying Bear, does that imply that Maul readies Wolf?
I guess Maul would ready Wolf, and then the Wolf one would ready Hawk.
Maybe.
I mean, let's not guess as to the sanity of the card names as I pass that salvation.
Actually, I can just look it up.
Let's see. Let's see though. Really, I think it comes down to if Thera can take the flag, it's over. I think. So I don't think he can, because he would have if he could.
Unless he's just waiting.
Yeah, but I don't see a reason to wait.
He's afraid of it dying, because 3 tactics in hand.
True, but what would it die to? The standard bearer and the general. So the general... So none of those tactics could be general tactics, because if they were general tactics, they would activate other units that weren't the general.
Right.
He could activate standard bearer, but yeah.
Yeah, he could activate 1 unit, but most of those specify activating 2. So I think that this leech is unable to take the flag. Or otherwise,
it could be maybe in 2 moves. Maybe the problem is he can only do it in 2. It takes him 2 moves to do it.
If it takes him 2 moves, it makes more sense, because in that case, he's just waiting for Jim out of possible action, so that way he can't steal it back with the general. Thing is, from Jim's perspective, Jim needs to take green. He needs to take the flag, and then with 1 action, in order to win the Pyre, he needs to take 1 more, which is impossible, basically.
Unless he's got the right tactic. I'm trying to think of what tactic.
He only needs 1 more if he wants to win the round. Because unless that Necromancer and the Leech can... So you're assuming that he moves onto the flag. That only leaves the yellow and the red open. Yeah. Unless you think there's a way for the Leech to get all the way to that yellow.
I don't. Because I don't think...
Then at that point, the Pyre's tied.
Yeah. Summon a skeleton in the Necromancer zone, or place a skeleton on the board in Necromancer zone. Then that skeleton may move up to 2 spaces in the same direction. Then that skeleton may attack. Oh my god!
It's going to gain health.
Yes, but the important thing is it's going to prevent the flag, which means that less...
No? Oh,
no, it won't move? Yeah, it'll move.
He's already done it.
No. Yeah, that was... Oh.
He spawned on 2B, or 2A.
Yeah, 8A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, the Necromancer was just slightly out of position. No, wait, no, it wasn't. Couldn't it have put the skeleton into A4 on, like...
No, it's out of the zone.
It's out of the zone.
He could have dropped it in A3.
He could have dropped it in A3. but still not done the attack.
That helped.
Yeah. The trouble was he wasn't on. If he was on A2, he could have put it on.
Oh, I see. He's moving the shapeshifter. He's going to move the shapeshifter to the initiative.
Oh,
that's what he wants to do.
With the general move, that was very clever. With the general move, he was able to retake the flag. Okay, so now he's safer.
Yeah, we're going into round 4. It looks like.
Yeah,
probably.
He's still not safe because right now he holds a flag and nothing else.
Which is also true of Thera.
Yeah, but he said Thera has 3 actions left. 4 actions left.
3 actions.
4 if you count the token.
True.
If Thera has the night move, he can still jump to the initiative token, and at that point, Jim has a problem.
Yeah.
At that point, the trouble is Jim isn't safe at all. Like the question is, can Thera get on anything? And the answer is probably. Like, we don't know.
With 3 orders and a tactic, I think the odds are very high that he can get on something.
And so how does Jim plan to take an objective? Or he doesn't have a way, and he
if Jim has an up move 2, he can move the initiative with his shapeshifter.
Yeah.
My concern is, and it's not happening. My concern was the life leech night jumping to the initiative token.
Oh, it all makes sense.
Very nice.
It all makes sense. Wait, is that legal? High Priest,
how did that happen? What?
Yeah, High Priest wouldn't be
adjacent. Oh, no. That is not legal.
Yeah. High Priest would not be adjacent to the leech. Not allowed.
Looks like Celtic.
Yeah.
Old English, not legal, not adjacent to leech after move. Yeah. You would have to do something slightly different. Yeah, you have no way to do that. So in this case, I don't see why he doesn't just maneuver the leech back to the health. It's so much simpler. It requires no big braining, and you just take it. No? Okay.
I think he wants to have that additional move on the life leech. He wants that blessing.
He wants to keep the life leech from dying because this is a very dangerous position for the life.
Well, I think he also wants the leech to be able to trigger. Oh, but it's a move. He doesn't want to move the leech off of the flag now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, here's the trouble. Okay, we're going to round 4. I don't see a way we're not going to round 4.
Life leech is in charge, right? Life leech shouldn't have any tokens, should it?
Life leech gets 2 token. No, wait, because
it used them earlier, didn't it?
Already to give it to it.
Oh,
what just happened?
He thinks he still had those leech tokens, which maybe he did. You should ask him if he used the empowered attack already.
I think he has 2.
It says he has 2. I thought didn't he use them to kill the knight earlier?
I think Thera says GG.
Well, that's because he thinks he won.
He says he didn't use them before.
Okay. We must have miscounted how much damage the knight had.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Fair.
The leech killing the standard bearer. That was a very non-standard way for it to go out, but it all makes sense.
I was wondering if there was a way for the life leech to kill something, but yeah. Okay.
How much damage did that life leech just do?
3. It's enough to kill the standard bearer. The standard bearer's been at 1 for a while.
All right, so we're going to hop over to their chat right now.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I feel like Jeff is cursing me. It never goes my way whenever Jeff is watching me play.
That was very topsy-turvy.
It really was. We were uncertain again where it was going to go.
Yeah, I definitely thought Jim had it end of round 3, but then it turned or end of round 2. But then it just turned out that was not the case.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of if you watch the video, you're going to hear a lot of us saying, we don't understand Thera's draft. We don't think it's a good combination.
Well, to be fair,
A lot of stuff did die.
Yeah, a lot of stuff did die. Specifically, the Ranger. What we thought was suspicious was that the Leech and the Necromancer were on the same team, and then I thought that the Ranger's initial positioning was suspicious. That was most of the criticism.
So Thera, what was your thinking with your draft?
That's a good question. Well, we actually we were kind of discussing it as we were playing it out, but I had thought a little bit about composition prior, and I knew that if I got initiative, if I went first and he didn't take a range unit, I was just going to take them both and decide. And that's exactly what I did. And
okay.
So I just put one on each side.
He didn't let me do the normal nonsense.
Yeah, we were pretty sure that the Ranger was a counter draft to the Zealot, because that's just a dangerous combination.
No, honestly, it wasn't anything to do with the Zealot. It'd be really nice not to play against an opponent that has any range. And
okay. Also fair.
Yeah. I think and then I was going to take the Standard Bearer. Standard Bearer was going to be my next pick, and then he just absolutely soul read my plan, and I immediately paid for it with the most ridiculous turn 1 curb stomp of Life Leech. When he did, infinite damage.
That was pretty strong.
We were watching. We were trying to count out how much damage it was that Leech was taking, along with everything else in that area with that standard, and it was hilarious.
I actually misplayed. If I did things in a different order, I could have done like 1 additional damage to something else. But oh well.
We were actually. What was funny is that we completely predicted that to happen before the game started.
That what?
We literally said he is going to get a tactic that lets him move tons. We thought it was going to be either burrow or burst, and he is going to put it. And I said, and we were having discussion over whether he was going to go adjacent to the Zealot or whether he was going to go adjacent to I think it was Standard Bearer and Shapeshifter. And I was like, it makes more sense to go adjacent to the Standard Bearer and Shapeshifter. And then we also came to the conclusion that he would immediately get blown up.
And I should have, I don't know, who knows? Maybe I should have maybe just taken the free Life Leech full attack on the Shapeshifter instead of following the.
Yeah, I was surprised that you didn't just kill my dude.
I guess I could have. I mean, I had another stun. I mean, I stunned the Standard Bearer. I thought it was worth, and I think you just had to have it. I mean, how many cards did you have left? What's the odds that you really have a stun and then a 5+ damage? I mean, maybe that's just terrible. Maybe the odds are really good, but
Well, the damage was all only possible because of that one card that let me set up all the charges at once.
Yeah, so am I supposed to play around a 1 in 15? I just.
Well, it's like a 1 in 5, right? Because I get to see 3 in the beginning. It's like a 1 in 5, but
then you have to have kept it. Like, is that always your slam dunk keep? I honestly don't know.
I've never played Standard Bearer before, so at least I don't think I have. But I saw the card and I was like, okay, if I can set it up this way, it's pretty strong if he comes into my area.
Yeah, Giga had actually observed that just before you did that every single one of your units was in the standard zone.
That was the idea.
Yeah, clearly.
I just don't think there's much. Honestly, if you're playing to have your people away from the Standard Bearer, you're just going to lose another way. Generally speaking, I think.
Yes. What number game was this?
So good. And Standard Bearer is so good with both the General and the High Priest. I would never run it with the Spy Master.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not as good as the Spy Master at all. I mean, those two are particularly good with it. Although Dark Champion's pretty solid with it also, but there's no Dark Champion in the tournament, so.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I had to run it again, I would have picked maybe one more beefier character. I thought Necromancer would give me some space, and I think Life Leech is just very good. But it just, especially as my DPS characters just got face melted against all his beefy characters, I think my only play was Pyre, and I got pretty lucky to
what I have
to steal it.
what I have to wonder if a new meta is arranging, because I mean, Jim, you've been playing your typical, attrition strategy, and it's been and I think both times has it been a Pyre win both times, or was last time a general kill?
No, I just killed his general last time.
Last time was a general kill.
Okay.
Well, this time, what really saved him was first reviving the life leech and then full healing the life leech, so I couldn't kill it, and then that allowed him to get Pyre wins both times.
Yeah, it's funny. In the beginning of that round, we were like, "Why didn't he bring back the life leech? Why did he bring back the life leech?" And I was like, "Oh, I bet he has resurrect."
Yes. Which we eventually came to the after you said that, we were all like, okay, well, he has to have the resurrect, because otherwise nothing makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
bringing that back with tempo is just insane.
I actually think the turning point really was this specific Pyre draw, this last round Pyre draw, which was it started with a leech occupying and with a heart pretty close to the necromancer. I assumed that the necromancer would do it, didn't actually end up happening, and it was very difficult. It was very difficult for you to successfully wash the board at that point, because you just had to just make sure you didn't win, and it seemed like it would be difficult to do anything other than making sure you didn't win. It seemed like you were going to be able to get nothing done except for that.
So I was trying to just not lose, as you said, and then the plan for the next round was to just destroy his leader, because I had a bunch of damage ready. Because I had Frenzy with the Zealot. So the initial plan was to push his leader towards me, stun him. So that would have been 2. Well, it would have been 3 if I had put the standard in its zone. So I do that.
Your yellow cards.
Oh, I left the game, but
okay. I'm gonna look. You don't mind?
You can look. I don't care. Yeah, so I had those. Martyrdom would have been better earlier. I just didn't really get the chance to use it.
And there was a maul. We were wondering if there might be a maul.
Yeah, I had a feeling when there was maul. Yeah.
I was trying to set that up to push one of his dudes off the space, but it just didn't work out. Because ultimately he had the last action, so there wasn't really much I could do about that.
Yeah, actually technically I had
last 2 actions.
3. I mean, unfortunately the yellow was a dead card in this scenario, but
okay.
Well, not super dead, potentially dead, but man, I don't know.
Because you just used all the blessing them from Purify.
Yeah.
I think you almost made my life easier when you self-immolated the Zealot, which is normally just such a good idea, but I in
that case,
love it
because I wasn't able to bring it back. That was my problem.
Because then I kill the knight, and now it's 3/3. And the other issue you had was because I was going to go last. I thought the other thought was potentially you rush your shapeshifter to the healing spot in the corner on A3, but then you die immediately to life leech. You just
that was the problem with the life leech having those tokens and being impossible to kill.
Yeah.
So
and there's no stuns left because they're all with your. Well, not no stuns.
It was I didn't lose any units until pretty late, but then since all my units were on low health, you could just kind of pick them off, and then in that particular round, I was just unable to do anything. I think a similar thing happened in my last game too.
Yeah, I think it was a rough start, but I think you actually really managed to leverage Thera, the power of the High Priest, really well between the Resurrect and the Purify, which really turned the tide of the game. The Resurrect in particular.
Those are kind of nuts on high health units.
Yeah.
This was the last round that Thera was in the game. Is the way I see it, right? So this was the last round that Thera was in the game, but at this specific round, the chances of Thera winning were this round were just as good as any other. Because Thera after we figured out that he had the resurrect, before that I thought it was game over, but after we figured that,
it was definitely very like, okay, well now Thera is just as likely to win this specific round as lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the interesting happens next. The interesting happens next round when he has 2 energy, so he gets 1. Like, assuming the game doesn't end, he gets 1.
Yeah,
he gets the Zealot back.
Mm-hmm.
But now
That
he's
was the
down.
plan.
Now you're down units to me because I'm bringing back.
You're only
Also
bringing
now
back 1 unit, right?
I'm bringing back 1, but now it's 4 to
4 to 4.
3.
Oh, was
Yes,
Shapeshifter dead?
Shapeshifter
Yeah,
died at the
yeah.
end.
Would die, yeah,
Yeah,
would die, yeah. Although the Pyre would be on my side, so it'd be a little bit hard for your guys, especially your
Necromancer.
Necromancer, to get into the action. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he almost doesn't want to be. I mean, as Necromancer almost wants to just move, centralize, and then spawn units on.
right, but it's hard to control the Pyre with them. So
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I don't know. It was a good game. I got a little bit fortunate. I think you were ahead for sure.
yeah, that the Resurrect was pretty brutal.
I don't really understand the Necromancer's purpose actually. Like, just in this specific game. Like, what was your plan for him initially?
I think he's just a top tier unit. I think his abilities and his yellow cards market cards are insane.
Really?
What is his tactic?
I mean, the summon the horde or whatever. You just drop infinite.
Well, 3.
I mean, 3 and Infinity.
Infinite.
What's really the difference? they're basically the same number. I mean, I was a
infinite
Netflix,
skeletons.
I'm pretty qualified to talk about things like this.
Yeah.
Infinite skeletons actually drop a skeleton on every single space in the board.
See, I think the thing is, I tend to agree. I think the Necromancer is a good unit, but he has just underperformed consistently.
I have no idea how to play him, so I don't pick him.
I think he's good, but he's difficult to use. I think honestly, I think one of the keys in this game was that between choosing the High Priest and the tactics that you chose for the High Priest, they were almost a perfect counter to Jim's usual strategy.
Mm-hmm.
They just completely blunted his attrition.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so it was. I think you just had everything you needed to go up against the way Jim normally plays, which is normally brutally effective. But these tactics just completely negated it.
It was scary for a lot of the second round.
Oh, it was grim. It was looking grim. We thought we thought you'd lost.
But I think just for the record, again, that I'll put him on the deck for the streaming purposes. But these 3 cards, I mean, it's just, what more could you want?
Oh, yeah.
Also, especially against his stuff, I need, the other thing, I played with Druid. It's the same idea. Ultimately, when you go 2 range, you need some way to try and control board space and stop, shut down lanes.
Yeah.
And so, summon the horde to place, again, what feels like infinite. Like if I draw that turn 1, the game feels so different. My units don't just evaporate. Because you've got stuff in the way, and then you have so many ways, especially with High Priest, to start triggering attacks from skeletons, because normally you don't want to spend actions to have skeletons do anything. But with High Priest, you'd have a bunch of potential triggers.
Yeah.
And then March of the Dead and Explosive Decomposition are your DPS from a unit that just wants to sit in the back and stand on Pyre controls.
Absolutely. Just the thing
that
to
was
always
the
remember with
idea.
the Necromancer is that it gives you expanded board control, but every skeleton you put out there is also a risk to your Necromancer.
But as played, he can, if he wants to spend cards to kill skeletons, I'll just respawn him. I'll take that trade all day.
Yeah, I mean, he effectively gets more health because it takes 2 damage on a skeleton to do 1 damage to the Necromancer. It's just there are also more opportunities to do damage to the Necromancer. So I do think the net is the gain for the Necromancer, obviously, or it wouldn't be a useful unit. But it's not without risk. But I think it is a good unit, a very good unit. It's just hard to use well. I've used it in a few games really effectively, but sometimes it's just hard to pull off.
Jeff, what would you have changed if you're going to swap out a unit for one on the board? I guess anyone who thought my dress was bizarre, what should I have done instead? Do you have a swap? Assuming I'm taking both range, because that is definitely what I was doing. So don't swap those, because that was the whole idea.
So my first swap would have been the wizard, but go ahead, anyone else?
Yeah.
I actually don't think the wizard and the zealot are like that amazing together.
Either life leech or necromancer is fine. The question is, I swap out one of them. The other one's fine to stay.
For what though?
Yeah.
From what wasn't taken, assassin is an option maybe for some mobility and damage.
Which one? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Assassin, maybe.
Assassin, yeah.
Soldier would be another possibility.
I thought
since
soldier.
You got wizards, so there's not as much unpreventable damage in play.
Yeah, I would have taken soldier instead of the end game leech. I think that would make sense.
I tend to agree.
Because he's gonna.
Yeah.
He's going to win off of King and High Priestess, right? So,
and I think the reason that we talked about was that the Life Leech and the Necromancer both take time to set up. So one of them often ends up being used suboptimally because they need maneuvers to trigger their real strength, and you don't want to divide them, which is the same reason I tend to not play Necromancer and Druid together, because for the same reason they both take time to set up, and I don't want to have to choose which one to underdevelop.
But you're almost, Jeff, I think that's a good point. I will say you're almost just waiting on what market cards come out, because you're probably not going to see them both.
Correct.
So you're just, because you're either rampant growthing or you're summoning the horde, like that's the dream, and you're essentially just going to wait to do much of anything with them until you get those.
Yeah. Right, but I don't want to have to depend on the tactics to maximize it. So, for example, if I had Life Leech and Soldier, if I don't draw any Soldier cards, I can still make the Soldier work. If I don't draw any Life Leech cards, I can make the Life Leech work. But if I have both the Life Leech and the Necromancer, and I don't get the right tactics for either one of them is going to lag behind.
Yeah.
Then you just cry.
Yeah. Or potentially, again, maybe I don't know. I just never, my range units never did anything, but
the soldier doesn't wreck. Hard to break.
Skeletons are listed as tokens, so they are removed when the necromancer dies, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In most cases, when a unit dies, the tokens go with it. There's a few exceptions, like Oozy Goops, who will eventually be rethemed as a goop. Those stay.
Also engineers stuff, right?
Engineers, because they're not technically tokens; they're structures. So I need to fill out the rules for them, which is one of the reasons the engineer is not in the tournament.
Which is very fair.
By the way, Jeff, I think the text change on the shapeshifter was a nerf.
You think?
Rather than refreshing at start of round. I think so, because it feels bad to invest actions to just refresh the ability.
See, I thought it could be easy enough to use your leader's abilities to then activate it to refresh the ability, rather than having to wait.
He tends to want to go in. At least the way I was using him, he's very good at going in and attacking stuff, and is not necessarily always near your leader. So I don't know. I might have just been playing him incorrectly, but
it's possible. I think he's pretty. I think with the 5 health, I'd be leery of making him any more powerful right now.
I don't think he's bad. I just think that was a nerf.
Yeah, I suppose the shapeshifter really actually stole it. I was talking about how I thought that the shapeshifter was probably the unit that had probably the single most effect on the game outside of your leader. In terms of,
it's a good unit.
I think it killed several units. It got an objective. It died at the end, which was unfortunate. But I mean, it was just exposed to too much. But it was in general. I think it killed 2 things, took an objective, and almost forced a watch round 2, where if you guys had watched round 2, then I do think that this game might have gone differently.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Shapeshifter and Force Mage are similarly just very interesting characters. They do lots of cool things.
Mhm.
They either have mobility and flexibility, or Force Mage just like pushing and stunning, and they activate lots of really cool, good turns.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final thoughts before we close this out?
Yeah, I think Zealot's kind of weak. I think he needs to be buffed to 6 health.
Any reasonable thoughts before we close this thing out?
I think Zealot's the worst character in the game, and it probably needs at least 7 health.
Yeah, that's true. What this guy said.
Yeah.
Honestly, you might need to break out the D20. We need to go a little bit higher.
Well, honestly, I may have to break out dice again because it seems that these new counters
The
I
counters
got,
don't work.
and
They
these
work
are
for
all
me,
new
though.
counters.
I was able to do whatever I wanted with him. I could do stuff to his. I even made him host. I made everyone host, basically.
Yeah, for me, I was getting the displayer where it shows 2 numbers on top of each other.
I'm getting them too.
Yeah.
Maybe it's only like, because I remember when we were playing, Jeff, it worked for you but not for me. So I wonder if it's like only the host. And last time when I hosted, I could see the numbers fine. I don't know if
Yeah, maybe.
was it bugging for you, Giga?
I may go back.
I didn't have any problems that I can remember.
Okay.
They seem to be working fine for me.
Because
the
it's
first
only
time.
worked for me when I've hosted.
This is the first time the new tokens have messed up. The new counters.
Okay.
When I played with Jeff earlier, everything seemed to be in good order. How did the 4 health standard bearer feel, by the way, compared to the 3 health?
So good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Sure.
So good.
It is quite strong. It was less strong because he drafted both of the ranged units, so I wasn't able to like fully abuse that. But yeah, I was able to get a lot of good activations off of the Zealot plus standard bearer combo. So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
It would just be better with a ranged unit, obviously.
If the 4 health is too much, I'll see at the end of the tournament. I just worry again about the 1-hit kills on it. It ends up everything.
Sucking.
So many plans fall apart then, and I feel like it just wouldn't be drafted at 3 health
Yeah.
because it's just too easy to kill then.
I don't know if I would. Yeah, at 3, I don't think I would pick it unless I also had like a soldier or something. But
Yeah, because it's not like any other unit. Like you have like your wizard get destroyed, you lose your wizard. But if your standard bearer gets destroyed, you've now made all of your other units weaker,
yeah, exactly.
and it's just not worth the draft.
It's like the cost, because it's not really a unit in some sense, because it's very hard to actually like take the pyre with the standard bearer.
Yep.
So it's like there's a pretty significant cost to the empowered actions.
Yeah,
And then on top of it, you need to have an engine that grants lots of regular actions that you can then empower.
right.
So it's like, in order to make the engine work, you need a lot of things to go right. And I think having the central piece have only 3 health and be so easily killable, just kind of you just kind of lose on the spot if it dies too early.
Yeah.
I don't love that the standard isn't killable.
You know, that's been a discussion we've talked about, actually being able to kill the standard.
What's for the same reason that the standard bearer has 4 health and not 3.
Right. So, if I were to give it health, I mean, again, which I'll evaluate at the end of the tournament, seeing how the standard bearer performs, it would be a 2 health unit, a 2 health token.
Yeah.
So you couldn't kill it instantly.
Yeah.
That might be
pretty
the
reasonable,
balance I fall on after seeing its win rate at the end of the tournament.
It's just so good with either of the generals.
Maybe.
Like, there's nothing like you shouldn't take it if you play Spymaster, and Spymaster is amazing in his own right. But if you play, if the first person takes Spymaster and you go turn to either general or high priest and standard bearer, I think you're in for a good time.
Yeah. Although, again, with Spymaster, I would stun the standard bearer a decent amount and then just focus it down.
Right, maybe you're jumping to get to him, but also if you jump across the board, and your goal is just to kill my standard bearer, I think I'm again in for a pretty
True.
good time. I'll take that trade.
Yeah, you've gained some tempo then.
Yeah, and there's definitely scenarios where it's a total blowout when Spymaster does his jump or whatever, but hard to jump on something that you're not immediately going to kill, and that everything around your now isolated general is getting attacked with guaranteed empowered actions.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't feel very good. I don't know.
No, it's definitely good. We'll see how it pans out.
Cool. It'd just be. I think I'd be a proponent of being able to kill a standard.
That's definitely
still value for the standard bearer.
Yeah, I think that's
killing a
probably, if I do need to nerf it, that would be the nerf I'd give the standard 2 health.
All he's got to do is move and summon it again. It's not really a huge cost, but at least slows it down.
Yeah. And you're forced to do it then. So
yeah.
And that's the other thing. Every time you do an empowered move on the standard bearer, the standard has to move. You'll notice it's not an option. So that makes it a little bit less controllable, and you kind of have to keep your standard bearer in one place, and if you like where it is. So we'll see. We got 20 some odd games to go in the tournament, so I should have plenty of data at the end of it.
I get to lose 8 more times.
Is there like a round robin?
Yeah, it's
double round robin, actually.
Who am I against next? Primordial Secrets. Or hopefully he's not that good. I can
salvage match, I know that.
What? Oh, he won
his first match, I know that.
He's a good.
He's a good board game player.
All right. I have my work cut out for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank Jim and Thera for letting us stream this, and thank Giga and Rat for co-hosting. I think it was a really good show again tonight.
Are you gonna curse my third game too?
I'm gonna do my best. All right. Thanks again, everybody, and have a good night.
Yep. Thanks. Good game, Jim.
Good games.
Yep. Bye.